On today's edition of the Gripe Session, we're discussing Facebook business pages. Do you need them? And what's the best way to share them?
It's Gripe Session time with your host, George Wanaka.
It's about nothing.
Discussing everything from real estate, current events, a little bit of everything, and the annoying little things that just tick you off.
You can't handle the truth.
What? You didn't know?
Here's your host, George Wanaka.
Your ass better call somebody.
What's up, everybody? How are we doing today? Welcome to today's edition of the Gripe Session. I appreciate you guys and girls checking in and seeing what I'm up to this week. For those of you who are checking in for the first time, my name is George Wanaka. I am your host of the Gripe Session. I am a realtor, appraiser, and mortgage broker with Wanaka Realtors over here in Staten Island, New York. And it's my pleasure to bring to you this episode today. Now, it basically centers around a lot of social media and again, where I promote this podcast and my Facebook Lives and, Instagram and things of that nature. I've been seeing a lot recently about Facebook pages, right? So I kind of wanted to get the record straight in regards to Facebook pages and try to help some of my colleagues in this industry do them correctly, okay? What I mean by there is a way of doing them correctly, okay? So now the first thing is that most people, when they go onto Facebook, they're going onto Facebook and they're having their personal pages. And again, I stress the word personal page, okay? Personal. That page is supposed to, when you add friends, the difference of knowing between a Facebook page, a personal page, as well as a fan page or a business page, is the fact that on personal pages you add friends, on fan pages you like the page, and that's what's going to get you updated on anything that goes on there. Now, I digress. Let's go back to the personal page. I believe you should have a personal page as well. However, that should be for friends, for family, potentially for colleagues if you like them enough. So, because obviously you can defriend them at any time and kind of go from there. However, your business page is where you should be promoting your business, not your personal page. Okay? Now, part of what I've been recently seeing a lot of is I think that a lot of my colleagues have been either going to a continuing education course or some other kind of course that says you have to have a business page and a fan page to do your work. Now, I agree. See, but the problem is with wherever they're getting this information, they're either getting lazy, which, I've never heard of anybody not getting lazy before, especially in my industry, or they're not telling them that you need to be different when you're coming up with your fan page, okay, or your business page. Now, what do I exactly mean by that? Well, I'll give you a perfect example of a situation that happened to me 3 times today. 3. The day I'm recording this podcast, I got 3 invitations to like business pages. 3 different industries, okay? One of them was a real estate industry, obviously. Another one was a local business. I believe it was a bakery of some kind. And another one was a restaurant, okay? Which the restaurant one surprised me because it's not even in New York. But it doesn't matter. There are other friends, and that's how sometimes they get it based on the analytics. And that's a whole nother topic for another day. But anyway, every single one of these pages, when I got the invitation, there was not a personal invitation to it. It was, I think you might like my page because a similar business or something, whatever it was the identical message. And essentially what that message is the message whatever Facebook puts in there, that's what they were going with. They weren't typing anything to set them apart, right? Back in the day, because I'm doing this 26 years, People used to talk about handwritten notes to people to make them feel special, to make them feel more engaged, right? Nowadays, we're more on our emails and our text messages, and everything is so impersonal. Make it personal for somebody. You're not going to get somebody to just automatically like your page because, oh, well, I'm asking you to like the page. Well, now, look, some people will. But other people, like me, will sit back and go, okay, so you're sending this out to 50 different people, and they all, and I'm not saying do 50 different responses, but you were so damn lazy. You didn't take the 30 seconds to essentially come up with a line or a personal thing to go through their business and go from there. So I'm not going to, like your page because A, I don't think it's bringing me any value. I don't believe your content's bringing me any value. And it's just a way of essentially self-promoting yourself. Do I like other of my colleagues' business pages? Absolutely I have. But I'm also very picky on that. And what I mean by that is you can't make it always about your listings, and I'm really talking to real estate professionals right now, but this goes for any industry that would want to watch this. You cannot make your business page all about your business. Now, that kind of sounds kind of stupid and Polish, if you will. Well, I am Polish, so that kind of goes down that road. But the point of that matter is you have to provide value. You have to provide just content, because otherwise people are going to sit back and say exactly what I'm saying right now. This is only about their individualized stuff. This is only about their, what they want to promote and have nothing to do with value of the community or any of that kind of stuff. And it's end up going to turn into a problem for them. So as you move forward and you're putting your information on there, and again, I keep going back to this point, you cannot just put information on your business. And I'm going to use realtors as an example. We always put out there, and I see a lot of it as, I just got a new listing at 123 Main Street, right? And, I'm so busy. I'm out showing houses. I'm out doing this. I'm out doing that. And blah, 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 right? Then you go and you check the MLS. And the MLS, they have 2 listings. They haven't sold a house. They have 2 listings. But you go back to their fan page, and it looks like they've had 25 listings on a piece of property, or 25 listings this month alone, and they are the second, they are the next best realtor, the number 1 realtor on wherever they're at, and go from there. And I just sit back and I laugh. Because the fake it till you make it scenario that a lot of people talk about is BS. It's complete BS. Right? There's nothing worse than somebody that's sitting there and bragging when other people can sit back and actually demonstrate it. I went on a listing last week, and I was competing against one of my colleagues, and they asked me about their production, and they actually pulled somebody's Facebook page out. And it was, I sat back and I said, okay, you don't believe everything you see. And they said, well, what is that supposed to mean? I said, because I can generate a report and actually show you what really is going on. I don't feel the need to lie about what I do. Other people do because they don't have the experience and they don't have the amount of listings. And look, I get it. Everybody has to start someplace. There are ways to get to that point. But the one thing you want to be with your content, and this is all going back to content, is you want to be as real as possible. You want to promote value as much as possible. The whole reason for this podcast is trying to give value to people. Look, some of the people that might listen to my podcast might not even work in my company. They might not work for, a local, my local area real estate company. They might be working someplace else. But if it provides value, if I'm able to let people, see what we do every day and learn how to take and learn and basically see the difference between somebody that's actually doing the job and somebody who's saying that they're doing the job. There is a difference between the two. And part of what I want to do in my life is try to elevate the profession of real estate professional. Okay? That's one of my goals, is to try to make my industry a better place than when I walked into it in the first place. Now, how do I do that? Well, part of the way I do that is I try to educate the public, and I try to also educate, my colleagues on how to actually try to do that. And, people say to me, George, all the time, they go, "Hey, George, why would you try to educate your colleagues?" I mean, that really doesn't make a lot of sense because, well, I mean, hey, that's your competition. There's always enough money out there for everybody. That's the first thing, okay? Second part of that is, besides being out there for everybody, if I educate them, one of the things it does for me is makes me have to elevate my game, okay? It makes me have to work just as hard on my Facebook pages. And look, everybody nowadays, my Facebook page, my Instagram page, everybody wants the quick fix, right? Oh, I want to be shouted. How do I do that? I get shouted out by a celebrity and I just got 25,000 people more, or use a different one in for some of our realtors, Gary V, shouted me out or whatever it was. And, I got another 30,000 people that now watch me because he shouted me out. The way you do this and the way you get more followers on your fan pages, on your Instagram pages, is you get religious and disciplined about it. And I mean by religious, I don't mean quoting Bible scriptures, although sometimes that might be what people do. I'm a motivational kind of guy myself. I try to motivate and bring value to people. And if I'm able to touch a couple of people, that's what my goal is. Okay? That's what my goal is to provide value. I do it this way. There's no monetary value with me. I don't have a sponsor to sponsor my podcast. I'm literally doing my podcast here. I am doing what I can do to try to elevate, because I believe we all have a purpose. So I believe part of my purpose is, share the knowledge that I have with my colleagues or anybody that listens to this podcast, and try to make things a little bit better. So with that being said, going back to these Facebook pages, you need to try to get to my colleagues in my industry. Don't always sit there and post things about your listings. That stuff will come. It will come. However, you want to post things of your local area. You want to post, events that are going on. You want to be the go-to person for your area. These are things that I've learned over the last few years. Some things I've been well able to do, but my focus has always changed. Sometimes I want to build up a different part of my social media presence, as an example with Instagram, and I've lacked sometimes on my Facebook pages. But the goal of everything is to provide value. That's where you will see returns on things. So you don't see returns right away. As the expression goes, have you ever gotten anything good that you didn't pay for or you didn't work for? There are no shortcuts in the social media game, just like there's no shortcuts in life. Although depending on what we're talking about, I could argue that on the other side of that, but that's a podcast for another day. Some of my friends that listen to this and some of my colleagues will might have an idea of what I'm talking about, but I digress. We'll save that podcast for another day when I get to when I get to call some people out on blast. But anyway, I wish you guys have the best day possible. If you have any questions, as always, of me, you can feel free to email me at george@searchstatinisland.com. You can feel free to visit my website, searchstatinisland.com. My Instagram page is at @GSWanaka and at Search Staten Island. And you can find me anywhere on Facebook if you just type in George S. Wanaka. You'll see I have a Facebook page and I have a fan page. They are two different, and you'll be able to definitely distinguish the two. Remember, like means fan page. Friend is a personal page. With that, I hope you guys and girls have a great day. Thank you again for listening. I really appreciate you all. Again, this podcast thing is slowly but surely, my numbers are rising. Initially, I was wondering if anyone was going to listen. I got to be honest with you. But you guys are. I appreciate you. I love you for it. And without that, without you guys, I can't keep doing this. So I'm going to sign off for today. Do something nice for somebody you wouldn't normally do. And I hope you guys have a great day and a great week.
Thanks for listening to The Gripe Session. Please follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.